Now, let's be a little bit honest as well. I know that for many of us, yes, we are beginners. I also understand that for many of us, maybe this could be, not all of us, but maybe for some of us, it could be a little bit technical. It might be a little bit confusing. Maybe even on day one itself, it was just a little bit of too much information. If any one of you right now feel like maybe you're just a little bit confused or maybe not sure yet on the next steps to go, type in a 2 inside of the chat. Okay, type in a 2 inside of the chat if you feel like you've learned a lot, but you're also a little bit confused about next steps. There's nothing wrong with being confused, by the way. Everybody gets confused. And for all of you who are here, in fact, I encourage you to be confused. I encourage you to not really know exactly what's going on, not know exactly what to do next, because if you're not confused, it means that you're not learning. It means that there's no progress. Every single progress of education, you need to be confused about something somewhere in the middle in order for you to propel forward. Okay, so if you're not learning anything, that's when you're not confused. When you already know everything there is to know and you're just simply wasting your time with us over the course of this weekend, that is when you are not confused. Okay, so I encourage you to push yourself towards confusion, because if you're confused, it means that you're making progress. Okay, it's a good thing. That's why today, slowly but surely, we're going to walk you through some of these promotional methods, promotional steps. And it's okay, keep in mind, that you get confused. That's why we have these support groups. That's why we have the community as a free bonus to you, not just the main one for Affiliate Marketing Insider Secrets, but also for myinternetbuilder.com, but also as well for the main Groove group as well. We encourage you to continue to learn, continue to improve, and yes, confusion will happen along the way. And so that is why we want to break this out as much as possible. And as you'll soon see, we do also want to make it as simple enough for you as we can so that we can make it digestible for you. We can make it something that you can absorb. We can make it something that, despite you being confused and maybe not knowing anything, even from yesterday, that you can still move forward. So just think about and compare yourself to the you of yesterday, 24 hours ago. I'm sure you'll agree that, yeah, maybe you have improved just a little bit. Maybe you know just a little bit more than what you did yesterday. For example, you know more about affiliate marketing. Hopefully, you have your myinternetbuilder.com account. Hopefully, you have your one-page site. None of that happened 24 hours ago, right? So for being here, and of course, for accomplishing all of that in only one day, you've done more in one day than what many people do in an entire lifetime. Give yourselves a virtual round of applause because you absolutely deserve it. Now, of course, with day one, we talked about a lot about how you can set up your business, how you can set up your affiliate marketing projects, your one-page site. And today we're going to focus on promotion. Okay, write that down. Promotion. We're going to focus on promotion, and we're going to break that down into 3 simple steps. The first one is the one that we're going to be talking about here today. Okay, promotion method number 1 is writing. Okay, in other words, write content that converts. So yes, we're going to show you some very basic stuff. We mentioned that this is a beginner strategy, a beginner method, a beginner course in internet marketing and affiliate marketing. But rest assured, even though these are the fundamentals, the core of many things that are involved, still, we want you to know that we are going to educate you, provide you with training on some of these basics as well. And yes, this goes into writing as well as a little bit of copywriting as well. So if you're excited about learning about writing or copywriting, write down the word copywriting inside of the comments so that we know that you're excited as we are to be sharing this content with you. Now, before I share with you the actual strategies themselves, let's just really quickly go over the fundamentals and the core of any kind of writing. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're writing for social media. It doesn't matter if you're writing for a sales page. It doesn't matter if you're writing for an email. or an opt-in page or a lead generation page or a signature or whatever other strategy that we are going to walk you through step by step over the next several hours. Writing and copywriting and making sure that you have written content that converts, the process is exactly the same. Okay? It is what? Exactly the same. This means that just like yesterday, when we said that in order for you to convert, in order for you to make money online and to generate sales, we need to provide value, right? We talked about that yesterday. On the same note, when you have your written content, you also need to provide value. You will see that value is a very consistent thing in internet marketing, in business in general, and anything that you want to eventually start building a business from as well. Why? Because at the end of the day, we need to understand, yes, we are a business. And as businessmen and women, we like to look at numbers and we say, oh, yes, so this is our P&L. This is our project. This is what we anticipate to earn and make, generate in terms of sales, in terms of revenue. And it's very easy for us to start thinking in terms of numbers, in terms of, okay, if I do this, this equates to 10% conversion or 5% conversion or 1% conversion. And we see all these things as numbers. But one thing that we need to absolutely comprehend and drill it in into the core of our bones as business individuals, as business owners, is that we need to know that business, our customers, they are not numbers. They are real people with real goals, with real ambitions, and real problems that we need to solve, with real questions that we need to answer. And that's why when we write our content, we need to know and realize that we are, in fact, writing for readers. Writing for who? For readers. Write that down, okay? We are writing for real people who are reading our content. That's why we still need to consider to provide value. Keep in mind, anyone who might be reading your content, who might come across your information anywhere on the internet, chances are they're looking to receive some value from you. Okay. If they don't see value from you, they're not receiving any types of tips or advice, they're not learning anything from you. Well, unfortunately, this also means that they're gonna stop reading, okay? And they're gonna stop reading on your page. They're going to leave your page or your content or your blog or your website, and eventually they're not gonna do business with you. Okay, so providing value is extremely important. Also understand there could be many different circumstances, many different ways that people may be able to find you. For instance, one of the biggest focuses that I normally have is on the topic of search engine optimization, or maybe the topic of video marketing, for example, and in which case, chances are most of the people who pop into my website or watch my video as a result of searches, they have questions, right? Or they have problems. In other words, they're looking for answers to questions and solutions to problems. If we're not able to provide them with an answer, if we're not able to provide them with a solution, then yet again, people are going to leave your site. They're going to stop watching your video. Okay, so again, we need to provide them with value. Does that make sense so far? If that makes sense, type in make sense in the comments so that I know that you're following along. In addition, not only do we need to know that our solution is something that will help to solve their problems, not only do we need to know that whatever it is that we write will be an answer to whatever question that they might have. Nowadays, especially because there's so many things going on. And the reason why yesterday we said that if you have control and you're building your own one-page site, make sure that you only have one single product. Why? Because if you have too many things, too many distractions, too many things going on, a confused mind never buys, right? So if you have too many things going on, then they're not going to take any action. Your website, your one page landing page, your one page site, these are all elements that you can control. If you're on social media, if you're on another person's website, if you have your own video, I'm sure you can agree you don't have control over that, right? Type in agree if you agree. Why? Because on a social media site, they're not going to go just to your particular post, are they? They're going to be on their news feed where there are going to be other people's posts. There's going to be other people's images. There's going to be other people's videos, as well as ads, as well as all those things on the side. If they're on the computer screen, and if they're on their phone, then forget about it. They're scrolling through at probably something like a million miles an hour, right? How are they actually going to stop read your thing for maybe more than just a few seconds? Well, in order for you to do that, that's where we need to keep our readers interested as well as engaged. Okay, again, keep them interested as well as engaged. And what we want to do, just like what we want to do with every single one of our own properties, including our websites, okay, we do not want to try and sell something to them. We don't. Our one and only goal is for them to click on that link and take that call to action. Okay, invite your readers regardless of what we're doing. And that is the beauty of affiliate marketing. Okay, because with affiliate marketing, you're promoting somebody else's product, somebody else's business, somebody else's services, which means that you do not need to be the one who is the expert in sales copywriting. Okay, so that all happens on the main website, not yours, on the main website. So regardless of what we're trying to do, all we want to do is we want to pre-sell the promoted products as well as services. Write that down, okay? Pre-sell, not sell. We do not want to sell. We do not want to dilute the information. We do not want to dilute the strategy, saturate all the sales strategies and methods that are already proven and tested on the main sales page that is created by the sales page owner, the product owner, the business owner. Okay, we do not want to do that. All we want to do is make sure that whatever it is that we have control over, get them to click on the link, which just so happens to be our affiliate link. All right. And so when that happens, this is super awesome because it means that you are, in internet marketing terms, cookied, which means that you will get credited for anyone who takes action, whether it's a lead generation campaign or a sales campaign or whatever other campaign, you will get credited for that particular customer. So how do we actually do that? Ask me how. Type in the word how with the question mark in the comments, okay? How do we actually write content that converts? How do we provide value to our readers? How do we keep our readers interested and engaged? And how do we effectively pre-sell all these promoted products and services? Well, if you haven't heard of this, this is an age-old marketing strategy that has been around for hundreds of years. They appeared all the way back in the day on the black and white newspapers, on the radio, on TV commercials, even before there was TV, even before there was even radio. And even before there were even actual newspapers, they had all these, flyers and billboards and everything else. And all the effective marketing campaigns, they practice something called AIDA. Have you heard of AIDA? If you've heard of AIDA, type in the number 1. If you have not heard of AIDA, type in the number 2. Okay. If you heard of it, type in 1. If you have not heard of it, type in 2. Okay, so I see ones and I see twos. For those of you who are not familiar with what AIDA is, it stands for 4 major components in conversion and marketing. Okay, AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, again, attention, interest, desire, and action in order of appearance. Okay, so what does that mean? This means that when somebody is looking at your writing, again, it doesn't matter if it's your website, it doesn't matter if it's your blog or social media or some type of tweets or a post or something on Instagram or something on your signature or an email or whatever else. AIDA also applies. If you recall what we talked about yesterday for your website, we said that on that landing page, we don't need it to look pretty. In fact, some of the best converting websites in the world all the way back in a day. It feels like 100 years, but in internet time, okay, it was actually just about 10, 15, 20 years ago. We had the most ugliest websites in the world, okay, and they just so happen to be highest converting. Why? Because all they did is they practiced AIDA. The first thing, if you recall, that we asked you to put in your websites is that headline, right? That headline is the first thing that people see. That headline is supposed to be big and bold, maybe colored. Okay, it is in fact the very first thing that people see, and that's why this is the part that capture people's attention. Okay, so in your headline or your subject line, if it's an email or if it's the first line in your social media, that also equates to the headline within your website. It's the first thing that people see. We don't always have control over the color. We don't always have control over the size. We don't always have control over that particular font being whatever it is that stands out. And so that attention grabbing headline or first line or subject line, it needs to be something that will grab your attention in writing, in text, in what it is that we actually say. Okay, so I'll give you some examples of that later on once we get into the promo tools. However, just so that you know, the first thing that we want is to make sure that we grab people's attention. Write down attention inside of your notes because this is something that is very important. Okay, we want to grab the attention of your readers. As a hint, this can be achieved with effective alert bars. For example, alert bars on a web page. If you recall yesterday, when we created our one page site, at the very top, we said something like this has limited seats or limited accounts available, right? And it's right there at the top above the headline. That is an alert bar. Okay, if you are working with the headline, then the use of text formatting is also something that can get somebody's attention. Okay, so keep those in mind, as well as the headline and the subheadline. If you have no choice, okay, all you can do is have some type of text in there. Some things that I see to be extremely, extremely effective is when we say something like, the very first line, the very first word, in fact, we say something like attention, right? Or warning, or check this out, or limit time only, right? These types of words are what we call stop words. It makes people stop in their tracks as they're scrolling through. Okay, they're watching different types of videos. Maybe they're scrolling through their news feeds. Maybe they're looking at different websites or whatever else. If we have something and a big capital letters that suddenly say stop, right? Then most people, that will get them to stop in their tracks. Okay, so that is our attention grabbing text. The next thing, after we get them to stop, we've grabbed their attention. Okay, is the next part of the AIDA formula, which is the I, which now stands for interest. Okay, write down the word interest inside of your notes. Okay, so that you know that this is something that is what we need to do next. Interest, of course, is to keep the interest of your readers. So, a hint on how we can do that, it is especially necessary towards the introduction. Because once you've grabbed somebody's attention, that's great, they stopped, but right away, you need to continue on with saying something that is of interest to them. Okay, so maybe you want to tell stories, maybe you want to say things that readers can relate to. Are you interested in making money online? Are you interested in creating an amazing website, right? Are you interested in building an online business for free? Okay, so all these things are potential ways that you can capture somebody's interest because number one, you're either telling a story or you're asking a question or you're saying something that people can relate to. Are you interested in buying a new car? Do you want to renovate your new house, right? Do you want to, make sure that your kids are smart and they're learning what they need in order to get ahead in their classes, right? So all these things, whatever market that you might be in, make sure that whatever interest that they have in mind, you are speaking directly to them. Okay, and yes, I understand there is a typo over here. We will fix that for the next presentation. All right. After we've captured their interest, the next thing in the AIDA formula is D, which stands for desire. So inside of your notes, where you're writing down your notes, okay, write down the word desire, okay, because now we want to officially transition into what the readers want. The way that we do that is we continue to build motivation by talking about the wants, talking about the needs. You can continue to tell your stories. You can continue to say whatever it is that you need to say. Okay. So just make sure that we're speaking to what it is that they want. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to make sure that your dogs are well trained? Do you want to make sure that your kids are ahead in school? Okay. So make sure that once again, you are building motivation and letting them know exactly what it is that they want and they need. Finally, the last letter in AIDA, which is the second A in IDA, okay? This one is called action, okay? Write down action. This is when we want to invite our readers to take what we call a call to action. And really, in our line of work as affiliate marketers, there is really only one call to action, isn't there? That call to action is for them to click on that button or click on that link and sign up for some type of a deal, some type of a free account, some type of a sale, or whatever else. Now, again, keep in mind our goal, our action is not for them to buy something. We're not trying to make a sale. We're not trying to sell anything. Instead, what are we trying to do? Not sell, pre-sell, right? Write in the word pre-sell, type that in into the comments, okay? Inside of the comments, type in pre-sell. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's what our call to action is also supposed to do, okay? So we want to include only one call to action, only one. How many? Only one, simply because why? A confused mind never buys. So let's just give you a couple examples that you can take a look at.